Good day to Mr. Safwan. Today we will share our observation and insights about teaching students with learning disabilities. This observation was done at SMK Tenggilan Tuaran Sabah on 10 July 2025. Our group focused on how teachers support students with learning difficulties and how these strategies help them in class. Before we dive into introduction, let me introduce our group members. We have 4 members in this group. Me, Freddy Van George, Ariel Andrew, Nakai Abdul Hakim, and Muhammad Sadejul Irfan. Together, we work as a team to complete this observation and interview at SMK Tenggilan. So for our introduction, our group, which has 4 members, carried out an observation to see how a teacher supports students with learning disabilities. These students need special attention because they often face difficulties in understanding lessons, remembering information, and focusing during class. That is why teachers need to use different methods to help them learn effectively. During the observation, we focus on 3 main things. The first one is the teaching strategies used by the teacher, how the students reacted to these strategies, and the last one, and how the teacher managed and motivated them in class. So after the observation, we also interviewed the teacher to know more about the reason for using these strategies and how they can help students. Through this assignment, we learned that patience, proper teaching methods, and giving encouragement are very important. These things can help students with learning disabilities feel more confident, participate actively, and improve their learning step by step.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Muhammad Shadizul Irfan. Today, I would like to share what I observed during our visit to Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Tenggilan or SMK Tenggilan. First and foremost, the school has an active and well structured environment. It has around 900 to 940 students and about 89 to 91 teachers. SMK Tenggilan is proud to be recognized as a Sekolah Harapan Negara for the Pantai Barat Selatan region, and it is also highly ranked among rural secondary schools in Sabah. The school is located just about 360 meters from the Tamu Tenggilan Marketplace, making it easy to access. It's around It's surrounded by other schools and local landmarks like cemeteries, which also makes it a key part of the local community. One of the most important parts of our visit was the PPKI unit, which stands for Program Pendidikan Khas Integrasi, also known as PPKI. So this program was established on January 24, 2011, and the first coordinator was Miss Yulin Tibin. Since 2014, it has had its own building near the Form 4 and Form 6 classes, close to the science lab. So this location makes the program more inclusive and connected to the school's academic activities. SMK Tinggilan is not just a place for learning, but also a community center for the Tamparuli constituency, especially in the Tenggilan polling district. We could see the dedication of the teachers and how the school supports inclusive education for students with different learning abilities. So, for the second part, during our visit, we also had the chance to meet and interview one of the most experienced teachers at SMK Tenggilan, Mr. Robert Dadu. He lives in Kampung Sintok and has been serving in education for almost 59 years. He started as an English teacher with a background in TESOL, and a few years ago he moved to teach in the PPKI program. He is expected to retire next year, ending a long and meaningful career. So Mr. Robert shared many insights with us. He mentioned that teaching special needs students can be easier in some ways because each class has only 5 to 6 students and the total number of PPKI students is about 27. Each student has different types of disabilities, so lessons must be adapted to meet their individual needs. We also had the opportunity to observe his teaching. He showed us several techniques he used in class, including scaffolding, where the students build their knowledge step by step, and student-centered learning, which encourages students to be active in their learning. And the last one is Bloom's taxonomy to help develop students' thinking skills in stages. So from this experience, we gain a deeper respect for teachers like Mr. Robert and the thoughtful approach needed in special education. It was a very inspiring and eye-opening visit. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and very good day to everyone. Today I'd like to share some insights from our observation at SMK Tengilan where we studied how Mr. Robert, one of the teachers there, how he supports students with learning disabilities. As we know, teaching students who require extra help isn't always easy. It takes patience, creativity, and the right strategies. And during our visit, we saw how Mr. Robert used three powerful teaching methods that are scaffolding, SCL, and Bloom's taxonomy. I'll walk you through each one and explain how they made a difference. Let's begin with scaffolding. This method involves helping students at the start of a task and then slowly reducing that support as they become more confident and capable. At SMK Tengilan, Mr. Robert introduced each topic with a class discussion, simple examples, and a mind map on the board. Then he asked students to create their own sentences based on the mind map. For a lesson on drug abuse, he first explored what the term meant, then encouraged students to share examples not found in the textbook, and this helped spark critical thinking. He also gave gentle feedback, correcting mistakes in a respectful way and explaining why an answer was incorrect. Even when answers were wrong, he praised the effort. This built confidence and encouraged students to keep participating in the classroom. And also, he also used visual aids and printed materials. Students would write their answer on the board, then discuss them as a group. This hands-on approach helped them understand the topic more clearly. As they gained confidence, Mr. Robert gradually stepped back and giving them more responsibility to do on their own. Next, let's look at SEL or student-centered learning. This approach shifts the focus from the teacher to student. Instead of listening, students take an active role in their learning. Mr. Robert gave students choices in how they complete assignments. They could write full explanation or either just list important points. This allowed each student to express their learning in a way that suited their strengths. He also encouraged group work. Students took turns reading aloud and were asked to help their classmates with reading challenges. This peer support helped everyone feel included, especially those who learn at a slower pace. And students were also encouraged to ask questions and offer suggestions. Mr. Robert welcomed their input and gave them time for discussions. And this created a supportive learning space where all students felt respected and heard. Finally, the third strategy we observed was the use of Bloom's taxonomy. This is a framework that helps students move from basic to advanced thinking in a structured way. There are six levels in Bloom's taxonomy, and that levels are remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. Mr. Robert followed this sequence in his teaching. He applied this sequence in his teaching. He started with simple questions like what is drug and can you name some drugs to help students recall basic facts. Then he moved to understanding, asking questions like what happens when someone takes drugs. He also guided students to apply their knowledge by asking them to compare good and bad drugs. Then he challenged them to analyze by asking why are some drugs illegal? Finally, he encouraged creative thinking by having them list other possible effects of drug use and explain those ideas. So, by starting with simple questions and slowly increasing the difficulty, he gave all students a chance to succeed and build their thinking skills step by step. So, in conclusion, for my part, what we saw at SMK Tengilan was a great example of thoughtful and inclusive teaching. How Mr. Robert didn't just deliver lessons, he adapted them to meet the needs of his students, especially those with learning disabilities. Through scaffolding, he gave structured support, then through SEL, he empowered students to take charge, and with Bloom's taxonomy, he guided them from basic understanding to critical thinking. These teaching strategies made a real difference in how students learned and how confident they felt in the classroom. It was a powerful reminder that good teaching is not just about content, it's about connection, understanding, and the ability to adapt to every learner's need. So, thank you for listening. That is all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Everyone, my name is Errol Andrew, and my metric number is MS240527638. And today I will be presenting my part of in the presentation, which is interview finding. So, from the interview, my group and I had discovered that the teacher uses a student-centered approach when teaching students with learning disabilities. The teacher believes that students must be active in class, not just listening but also joining the learning activity. The teacher gives simple and clear instruction to help students understand easily. This way, students feel safe, more confident, and are not afraid to make mistakes. The teacher guides them step by step, making sure every student stay involved in the lesson. The teacher also shared that learning should be interactive and fun. He uses creative activity, group work, and interesting tasks to make lesson exciting. For example, the teacher lets students work in teams, solve problems together, or do hands-on activities. This helps students feel like they are part of the group and encourage them to participate. Fun and interactive learning also keeps students motivated and focused. The teacher said it is important to avoid boring and repeated tasks because students might lose interest. Therefore, teacher must always be creative in planning a lesson inside the classroom. Another important point had been shared by the teacher is about the positive growth he is in his student. Over time, students show better behavior, stronger confidence, and learn important life values. The teacher is happy when students begin to understand what is right and wrong, follow class rules, and respect their friends. These positive changes make the teacher feel proud and show that using the right teaching method can really help students with learning disabilities improve not only in their studies but also in their character. Finally, the teacher explained that the more training and workshop are needed for teachers. Many teachers do not have enough knowledge or skills to teach students with learning disabilities. The teachers hope there will be more support and professional development programs in the future. With better training, teacher will feel more prepared, confident to handle students with special need. This can make a big difference in the student learning experience and success in school. And that is on my part in 4.0 interview findings. Thank you.
So for the impact of teaching strategies on students, there are four main points based on our observation and findings from SMK Tenggilan Tuaran. Number one is enhanced understanding. One of the most important impacts observed was an improvement in students' understanding. Through scaffolding, using example, mind maps, and visual aids, the teacher was able to break down lessons into manageable steps. Students begin with simpler concepts and gradually move on to more complex ones. This step-by-step learning aligns with Bloom's taxonomy, which progresses from simple recall to higher-order thinking skills like analysis and evaluation. The strategy allowed students, especially those with learning difficulties, to learn at their own pace and gain a deeper understanding of the content. Number two is increased confidence and motivation. The second significant impact is on students' confidence and motivation. The teacher consistently used gentle correction and praise, which created a safe and supportive environment. As a result, students were not afraid to make mistakes and they felt encouraged to participate without the fear of being reprimanded. Student-centered learning, or SCL, also played a key role by giving students the freedom to make choices in their assignments and learning tasks. They felt valued and more motivated to engage in classroom activities. Number three is active class participation. Another major impact is the increase in class participation. Student-centered learning encouraged collaboration through group work, where students supported one another. This was especially helpful for students who struggle with reading or comprehension, as peer support allowed them to keep up without feeling left behind. In addition, scaffolding reduced the pressure by gradually removing assistance as students gain more confidence. This enabled them to share their ideas and answer more comfortably, creating a positive and collaborative classroom environment. And the last one is develop thinking skills. These strategies help students develop critical thinking skills. Bloom taxonomy was especially impactful in this area. Students were not only able to recall facts, but were guided step by step to analyze and evaluate information. For example, after discussing factual questions, students were able to reason about the negative effects of drug abuse, showing that even learning disabled students can think critically if given the right support and structure.
Hello everyone, once again, my name is Errol Andrew, and my metric number is MS2405276638. And my part in the group presentation, which is in the conclusion. So, to conclude everything that we have learned from one of the teachers in SMK Tanggilan, which is Mr. Robert Dadu. To conclude all of this, my group and I have been learned many things, and yeah, teaching students with learning disabilities is not just about using the textbook. It needs patience, clear teaching strategies, and a deep understanding of each student's learning abilities. Throughout our observation, we saw how scaffolding builds students confident by guiding them step by step. These approaches encourages students to try and participate without feeling afraid of making mistakes. We also learn that student-centered learning keeps students active and involved. When students work in groups, ask questions, and share ideas, they become more engaged and motivated in class. Another important strategy is using Bloom taxonomy, starting with simple questions before to harder ones. This method helps students improve their critical thinking slowly with confidence. Lastly, we realize that teachers need more training and support in handling special education students with the right skill. Teacher can make the classroom a safe supportive space where every student has a chance to success. So that is all of our presentation part by part, and thank you for listening our group and hope to see you again. Thank you.